Hello everyone, I'm Giuliano and today I'm gonna tell you about a feeling that I had when I got my first translation job. Well, of course I had many feelings, but this one is very interesting. I told about my first job in another video and you can watch it if you want here in the channel so that you know all the story of my first translation job and how I started doing this. But what I want to tell you now is that around 40 days after my first job, I posted a topic in a translator's forum telling people about my experiences for those first weeks of my career, and I was asking them about comments and if it was something normal to happen to someone in the beginning of their career. Because, you know, as I told you, I got so many words for a few weeks and very well paid that I got surprised. And I wanted to know if that was usual or not. And many people congratulated me for my beginning in the career of a translator, but many others criticized me very heavily and also with harsh words. But I'm going to comment about those congratulations and criticisms in another video. For now, I want to talk about something else. And for that, I would like to read two comments of some translators who participated in that discussion that, by the way, became a trending topic very quickly, and in less than 24 hours there were more than 100 messages from translators from all over the world and thousands of views about the story I had just told. Well, let's talk about it in another video. For this one, I just want to talk about two comments from one translator called Claudia from Germany. She said many things, but one thing that I would like to highlight is this. The only good thing about the whole story is that you did not work for a rock bottom rate. That is, she congratulated me for having been good paid for the job. As I showed you in the previous video, $12 per word. And another translator called Oleg Rudavin from the Ukraine commented, among other things, the following: freelancing is a business and by definition a for-profit activity. In this context, we can only congratulate Giuliano on occasion of his first successful sale. A good business person will be successful irrespective of what they sell and to what buyers. Fridges to Eskimos, fur coats in Central Africa, and those who are first and foremost looking for higher profits are and will be doing that. It's the sales that matter, not the product. Well, those two comments from Claudia and from Oleg were about doing a good business, because I did a good business in my first job. I got well paid and I sold many words, as you saw in the other video. They were congratulating me for being a very good business person. But what I have to say here is like a confession. I was not being a good salesperson deliberately. I was not conscious about what I was doing. I had no idea how many words a translator could do per day or how to charge for them. I was just going with the flow and accepting the job. And this reminds me of a movie called Almost Famous from the year 2000. It's a very nice movie. I really recommend it to all of you. It's fun and the story is great. It's about a boy who wants to be a journalist, and he follows a rock band on the road in the beginning of the 70s, and then he starts to make friends and also write articles about music. Well, and this boy, he is a teenager. He is a 15-year-old boy and goes on a trip with those artists and other people on the road in the United States, and lives all kinds of experiences. But one day someone calls him, and he is the music editor of Rolling Stone magazine, called Ben Fong-Torres. And this guy had read an article written by this teenager for another magazine, and was very impressed with his style and his words and things like that, and wanted the boy to work for the Rolling Stone magazine. But he thought that the boy was already a journalist, an adult, you know, and wanted to hire him. And then the kid made believe that he was actually an adult and was a very well established professional. And then the music editor told him, how about writing for us? What do you suggest? And he was following a band called Stillwater that was not famous, but had promise. The editor accepted his suggestion, thinking that he was already a very seasoned and experienced professional. And then he offered him the following: well, why don't you write for us, let's say 3,000 words, and I'm gonna pay you, let me see, $700. And then for the kid to write 3,000 words for the Rolling Stone magazine and get paid $700 was a very big deal, was a lot of money. And he was so surprised that his eyes got wide open, and he got silent for a few seconds. And then the guy in the other end of the phone call thought that perhaps he was being somewhat difficult to hire. And then the guy said, okay, $1,000. So he was going to pay $1,000 for the kid to write 3,000 words in an article about the band Stillwater. That was totally surprising for the boy, and he made believe he was a professional and an adult and very experienced, and even changed his voice, speaking as a man would do, you know. You see, this was more or less the kind of feeling that I had. Someone was offering me a large amount of work for a very good price, and I had no idea what I was doing, but I acted as if I was experienced enough and as if I could do that, and they just accepted. I was totally surprised by what happened, was not expecting, and my feeling was exactly the feeling of this boy. Someone who doesn't know what he is doing, and they offer you a very great offer, and you just accept it, and you go with the flow, and in the end it's okay. That's what I wanted to tell you. I was not a good business person, but it happened, and today, almost 9 years later, I have a lot more of experience, and I can negotiate prices better, and in that first occasion it was just some kind of beginner's luck. I'm going to put here for you the link of that forum post so that you can read it if you want. It has I think 9 pages. It's hundreds of messages from many translators, and that was the feeling that I had when I was negotiating the price for that first job. I was astonished, surprised, I didn't know what I was doing very well, but I accepted and I did a good business in the end. In that context, I was a successful salesperson. So, see you next video. I hope you enjoyed, and see you later.